Well, I had retired then now.
That's a ton, 64. Can you hear me, Tony? Good and clear. Jamalali hear you? Someone said Liam Horton was deaf, but I can vouch that he's not.
At 65, what he was still born
I can't look back any further. Don't I canvas, Tommy, don't I? Pretend it isn't there. Ladies and gentlemen, you're all extremely welcome tonight here to Kevin Hughes's in Carnacon. Very, very welcome. It's, I think it was the ideal way to start what's a very, very special weekend for the club. Because there's nothing more important than tradition. Tradition. It's easy enough for guys today maybe to this age when everybody's a car, everybody can travel. It's easy enough for fellas today compared to back in the 1950s and 60s when things were much, much more difficult. I think something like 70 or 80,000 people left Ireland in the 1950s. And to have kept the club flag flying through the 50s and 60s was a marvellous, marvellous achievement. And that's very important, and it's the people that did that, and they virtually refounded the club from 1949 onwards. That's what's stood to us this year, actually. I firmly believe that. And I believe the recording of all that in Face the Ball Ballintubber in 2000 was very, very important. It established a club tradition. And whether that tradition was winning or losing didn't really matter. It was wearing the jersey that counted. And tonight it's wonderful to see so many people from that era here present. We've had apologies from Jacob Burden, from Jimmy Murphy, and from Gerard O'Malley. Can't unfortunately be here. My own memories would date back to the famous 7-a-sides in Ballyglass Sports in the very early 1960s. And it was tough stuff, and it was hard stuff, but it was wonderfully entertaining, and it gave me my first deep love of Gaelic football. A little more to say. I will hand over now to Tony O'Connor, who's more or less the club historian. Just to thank everybody here present for the way you've supported the club in the past few years. We have undertaken major development, and I think all of you that wore the shirt for Ballintubber and that played for Ballintubber, and everybody from this parish, from Crocran Bridge to the bridge in Ballyglass, when you see the facility that's there tomorrow in Ballintubber, your chest will swell with pride. I think it's absolutely finished to a very high standard, and that's thanks to an awful lot of people. It's also thanks to a lot of people that did serious fundraising on behalf of the club. It's a major project, a project that has cost over £1 million, but money very well spent, because we are investing in the youth of this parish for years going forward. We live in a time today when there are many temptations, and I'm not talking about a few innocent pints at the counter. There are many temptations on youngsters today in the present culture that we live in. Gaelic football keeps guys on the straight and narrow. A healthy body is a healthy mind. And I think the contribution that the GA make in that regard is not wholly and always appreciated. And I think that this club is very lucky in that between the executive, senior management, underage management, all the people involved in Bordenog, we would have at least 70 to 80 dedicated people that give huge hours of their voluntary time, week in, week out, from Monday to when the lotto finishes on a Saturday or Sunday night at 12 or 1 o'clock. That's a huge commitment by an awful lot of people to keep the flag flying. And I want tonight to record, on behalf of the executive, our thanks to them. And our thanks to the general public in this parish who support us through thick and thin. And thanks very much. Good night and thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sean. Not easy to follow that. Sean there has a size, as I always say, size 17.5 collar. That's why you're chairman, and I have a small little beak. Michael Peter, settle down now, good man. We'll have one after a while. Yeah. You're all very welcome here. Tonight just was an idea that we got together there, maybe a couple of weeks ago, before the Montclair Cup would go back to the county board. We thought that it would only be right to have the people that represented Ballintubber from the early 50s, the late 50s and the early 60s here tonight. We didn't invite, it wasn't an open invitation, a number of letters went out, a nice, compact, cosy little venue like this, to have some of the legends of the past get together and just reminisce over. And I nearly got hit with a few footballs here from Paddy Matt's field here a while ago. I could hear the ball hopping in the background. But you know, the last time we had a get together with this particular 54 team, and we have a photograph of it there tonight, was back in Eddie Welch's cottage, and you know, the picture has done the rounds. And when you look at them, you know, half of them have passed on. And I suppose, you know, it's at a time like this we have to think of those people. When Ballintubber won the county senior title this year, and I stood out in McHale Park immediately afterwards, like an awful lot of more Ballintubber people, Jimmy Lally, Vincent Kane, Patsy Prendergast, Liam Toole, Sean Feeney, Christie, we weren't able to speak. There were tears in everybody's eyes. We weren't jumping around with delight because the young fellas, they had no idea what this meant for the club. They thought they had a God-given right to win a county title. If they had only known what had gone on years and years before that, going back to the Mickey Conroy's team and Stephen Mulrose and Walter Carter, the Paddy Prendergast, Liam Tools, Michael Joe Sheridan, all of those Seamus Lang and all of those people here that had won basically nothing. Well, they won a county final and they were subsequently, it was taken off them in controversial circumstances. So if the young lads that won that, if they had only, it's only in years to come, they will appreciate the enormity of what they achieved. 100 years of the club, never won anything, nothing, never a senior title. And for them, in their first attempt to walk out there, I just stood there like an awful lot more. We couldn't speak. Nobody spoke. The young lads jumped around like as if it was a playground. They didn't understand. But to win the county title after those men had blood, I remember travelling to matches with Mark Prendergast, Lord Mercer and the Morris Minor. Coming home and there'd be blood. I'd be sitting in the back at about 10 years of age and there'd be blood out of his ears like. Down in Borrashule. Where's Tommy? Oh, Tommy is the cameraman here, Borrashule back. Blood, and inevitably we would come second. There was always hard look stories. And you know, it takes a while for a victory like this to sink in. So tonight we thought, well, why not get together and just reminisce, celebrate. I mean, you know, every day is a special day and enjoy every day. So tonight what we felt the way we would do it is just casually pass around the microphone. It doesn't matter what your memories were, good, bad or indifferent, of your own time, your earliest memories of the county final, maybe a song thrown in. Like when you look back at the history of our club, now we have, luckily enough, put together, we had a good personnel on our history committee, put together a history that came out in the Millennium Year, and it won the National Award, the McNamee Award, going right back to 1885 over in Tower Hill, the origins of our club. And I don't think there was anything omitted in that. And our DVD, our recent DVD as well, and hopefully by next Christmas we'll have another one. We cannot let this momentous occasion of our county final, and the Montclair Cup is here tonight, we cannot let that go by without putting the last 10 years down into a DVD as well. So tonight we'll just get the old ball rolling. It's a bit of, I will ask, you know, anybody wants to speak or sing, we'll get an opportunity to do so. You know, we will go completely at random. We're not going to start with the oldest person here. Mickey Burke is here already. You have to join the queue, Mick. Take it easy now. Go back to the go back to the end of the queue now. Mickey played 1940, I think it was a minor, was it? He played his famous memories of that one. Father Paddy Gilligan is laughing here beside me now. My memories of it, I think Father Paddy in the 1960 team that won the Hughes Cup Junior. If my memory serves me correctly, you were 16 years of age, and I think he was also secretary of the club. And I have a funny feeling he came on as a sub at some stage in the semi-final, was it? The semi-final. He came on as a sub in the semi-final against Ballyberry. Am I right on that one? I am right on that one. Yeah, semi-final. So maybe Father Paddy, you might just tell us. You're the most important man here. Well, as far as you're concerned, you are anyway.
Thank you, Tony. Yes. And I'd just like to say, first of all, thanks very much to the committee who invited us here tonight, because meeting some of the old colleagues here that we trained and played together in times that weren't as successful as you're enjoying now is good. Just going back on the memories for myself, you know, the matches were being played in Matthew Tom's Field in the 1950's, and from our own home house in Ballintubber, when the crowd would get together, could hear the ball being kicked, and if some of the better footballers would kick it, you could even see it up in the air. It was like so then would go with my father to the matches there, and I remember some of the people here playing, Mark Prendergast, Liam O'Toole, Paddy Prendergast, Anthony Lally, Jimmy Nally, Michael George Sheridan here behind me. These were the guys that were our heroes. So as soon as we were able to get involved in it, I went to school in St. John's in Castlebar and began to play a bit of football there. I was never very stylish at the football, but I grew up fairly fast, and I was useful to put in a gap to stop guys. It was easier to go around me than go through me. But I became involved as secretary of the club. When you talk about 70 or 80 people involved in the club, it's a very different scene from the 3 or 4 people that before our time, that the meetings would be held in Mike McHugh's, and Mike McHugh, Jim Nally, Anthony Lally were the officers of the club, and it had moved on a bit from that as secretary, it involved organising the field, getting somebody to stand at the gap and trying to keep fellas from getting in across the wall, up and down the road besides, because after every match we'd have to pay 30 bob to Matthew Tom for the use of the field for the match. And of course most of the other clubs used to be dreading going into it because it was a saucer-shaped pitch, and the Ballintubber lads knew where to take off from to get a height advantage or a kick out or anything like that. Communications were also very primitive at the time, in a world where everything is instant now through internet and iPods and everything like that. I remember as secretary, if there was a change in, for instance, we started to have a minor team and there'd be week evening matches. So then if there was a change of time, that it involved trying to get word round about the guys from Tourmakeedy and Party were playing with Ballintubber at that time, and also around Ballyglass and Carnacon. The only way was to send a telegram. Remember going up to Mike McHugh's and sending a half dozen telegrams to guys that the match was changed from Thursday evening to Friday evening, because to send a letter by post, it'd be too late. They'd have already assembled for it. The means of transport to matches then, we were talking about that earlier here, that there were the Langan's van from Ballyglass and Tom McCarthy's Bedford and Ballintubber, and gradually then from Mike Willie Hughes at a Hackney car in Carnacon would gather up the lads around here, and then Lydon's car from Tourmakeedy used to gather up the Tourmakeedy lads, come on through Shra, bringing Martin O'Malley, who's here with us now, Mickey Darmody, Mickey Heenahan, and these are the guys that began to form the backbone of the team that went on to win the Hughes Cup in 1960, and then beat Ballyvarry in the county final, met Claremorris in the final, and were defeated unfortunately. So just as Tony was saying there, that in 2010, it was exactly 50 years after that when the opportunity came of winning the senior title. That year, in 1960, when Claremorris beat Ballintubber, went senior, there was no intermediate at that time, and in 1961 they won the county senior final. So in a way, that's how near the Ballintubber team was to making it. Immigration then had a sudden effect on the team. I was saying earlier that when the team went out in January to play in the next year, that of the panel, the players and subs that were playing in the county final in 1960, 11 guys had immigrated. Some of them are here, fortunately that they were able to come back again after some years, but it reflects very much, I suppose, what's happening in some of the clubs that we have around us at the moment now, with people forced to immigrate again because the opportunities are not there. So it took some years for the club to get on its feet again, but there was always a great buzz about it, and the fact that people were willing to come together. The training methods were slightly different from what would be on the go nowadays, that there weren't any team plans of that very much in evidence, and They were just talking here about in winter nights, some of the lads used to do 3.5 laps round Horton's Field in frosty nights, and as a result of it, that got fellas fit and were able to take their place. But I think that the spirit of the club, what it has done for the parish, is something that has given it an identity that makes a huge difference. And for those of us who've played and lived through various stages of the team, that there's a great sense of pride to feel that you belong to something special, to belong to a community where there's pride in the place, and I think that came to the fore very much with the winning of the county title, and also with the wonderful facilities, both playing facilities, the pitches, and also the clubhouse, both in Clogher and now in Ballintubber, state of the art. And I think that the present committees in that deserve such wonderful credit for all they've done. So for the memories that tonight recalls, as different people are talking, and for the opportunity of meeting friends, because you really make friends through playing football in your own club, but also with other clubs. During the course of my life as a priest, I've been around quite a number of parishes, and in every parish I've been, that there are some connections that were made through football times, and it really is a great, it's a great social outlet. It's a great opportunity to get to know people that you might fight hard against when you're playing them, but when the game is over, that there's a good laugh and a good bit of fun, and bonds are built that last for a long time. So now, they're just some of my own thoughts, and I pass over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Father Paddy. We might have an old song thrown in the middle of all of this, but we will just basically go around clockwise or anti-clockwise, it doesn't matter here. I have Michael Joe Sheridan here beside me. Now, Michael Joe was one of the heroes from 1954. He, according to the official pen pictures at the time, from which I read this evening, Michael Joe, you were like the modern day Ronaldo. You had a number of different clubs. You started off with Ballygarris, and as far as I know, you moved to Carris, and then I think you spent a while with Ballinrobe. Yeah, you must have commanded an awful fee at the time. But, how did you start? Tell us a little bit about your early days.
It was a different game that time than what it's now. It was more the catch and kick.
A bit closer. Yeah. You started off with Ballygarris.
Yeah, I started off with Ballygarris.
Who did you play with in Ballygarris?
It was only just a rough and tumble football.
I'll hold it up to you. I'll hold it for you. Who did you? What footballers did you play with in Ballygarris?
Oh, I played and a lot of the lads around there.
Well, how come you went to Carris then? And
Well, it was in the parish, like.
what?
Yeah, it was in the parish of Carris, in Hollymount, Roby.
And what is your earliest memories of playing for this famous 54 team? Or memories have you of the county final or subsequent events?
Oh, it was very exciting at the time. I remember it was awful bad weather. All the pitches around the place was flooded. So we played in the field up on Hollymount, and it was known as Garvey's Field. It was up on high ground, but yet it was flooded.
You must have great celebrations after that, had you?
We went to Turmacady that night.
Yeah.
We went to the commercial in Ballinrobe first. I think we went to Turmacady to the dance.
Yeah. You went to the commercial hotel in Ballinrobe and you went dancing then afterwards back into hall, is it, in Turmacady?
Yes, and the dance hall.
The dance hall.
Yes.
What did this county final mean to you, Michael Joe? This win now. You had sons that played, and your older brother Paddy played as well, I think. What club did your brother Paddy play with? Mm-hmm. Your brother Paddy. Your brother Paddy that played?
No.
Oh no. Oh sorry. What? No. Did your brother play? What did this win mean for you? What did the 2010 Ballintubber win
mean?
Oh,
it meant a lot to me. I was very excited of the one. to tell you the truth, I thought they wouldn't make it, but they did. And I wish them luck this time.
Okay. Fair play, Michael Joe Sheridan. It's caught him by surprise, he says. You understand. We have them on DVD. If you want the real version, buy your DVD. Buy your DVD. It was a good interview with him on it. Oh, Tommy Lally is over here. Tommy Lally first played for Ballintubber in the late 1950s. 59, was it, or 58, I think. 1958, and Tommy was lucky enough to be on the Ballintubber team that won the Hughes Cup in 1960. But there was a bit more than that, Tommy, I think. There was you know, if you think back of the number of Ballintubber team people that have a county senior medal, they all think it's the modern day players, the younger lads, but it's not. One of them is right here beside me. You might tell those that don't know Tommy a little bit about that first senior title.
Yeah, it was a big. I was lucky enough to get on the senior team towards the end of the campaign. I could thank, I suppose, Jimmy McNally. He was one of the selectors. He didn't do me any harm anyway, but it was a great opportunity. We didn't realise it at the time how good it was, but to beat Castlebar in a county final, it was a great trial, a great experience. And the man of the match that day for us was sitting across from me here was Liam Horton. You better ask him more about it. And all I have to say is I remember playing on two very important men in my life. One was I marked Joseph Munnelly in Latsfield in a Castlebar Town League. And the other man I had great regard for was I marked Packy McGarrity. Probably you don't know a lot about him. He was a famous Leitrim footballer. I played on him in London. He was playing for Towers. And I thought it was pretty good. It was after winning the Mayo Senior League, or Mayo County Championship. But I was playing on Packy, and in the first 15 minutes he had scored 3 goals on me. He showed me the ball, and I go for the ball, and he was gone. So 3 goals in 15 minutes. So that's I'll hand it over to some of them now.
Well, Tommy Lally, the holder of a county senior medal with Mayo. I think there were six, who were they, Tommy? There were 6 people from Ballintubber that were on that team. Peck Joyce, Tommy Lally, Liam Horn down here on our right, yeah. Mickey Heenan from Turbiquiji. Jimmy Lally, come on. Huh? Ray and Mort. Ray Prendergast Mort. That was the 6th that won the senior title in Big Castlebar. 3-6 to 1-5, I think, was it?
Yeah, West Mayo.
The West Mayo selection it was, yeah. There were 6 Ballintubber people on that. Robert Coyne, you're looking awful cosy there. You're only got her, Tommy. You don't know Robert. You don't know anything about this. Robert played, I think, in the first game in 1963. Robert, am I right? You played full forward for Ballintubber in '63.
Really?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you don't know anything about it. I hope it's great to see Robert out here living in Snubber and Castlebar.
I didn't get the pension out of it.
Didn't get the pension out of it. Well, there must have been a means test. So you wasn't entitled to it. You wasn't entitled to the pension. What's your earliest memories, Robert, of the club and playing for Ballintubber? I'm sure you have yourself and your brother Kevin and many happy memories of.
Well, I suppose the greatest experience of all time was getting home safely from Burrishool. We spent a while in hospital there for a few of the matches. But really and truly, like the whole idea of playing for Ballintubber was a marvellous thing to be involved in at those times. Like the first intermediate final, Ballintubber got to the county final, and I was playing in the halfbacks, I think, that day, and the team played very well, but the sideline played even better because Billy Fitzpatrick was running down the line and Liam Gordon came in with his suit on. Or Liam O'Toole, I mean, came in with his Sunday going to mass suit and pulled him down. And the referee that day didn't know what the penalty for such an offence. So the match against Ballinachamore, we were going great for that final. I happened to get a goal that day, and the final kick. The goalie for Hamor often, every time he meets me, he said the white line was there and my shoe was one side His and the other.
Was that semi-final, was it, in Ballinrobe? The final.
Yeah.
Final, okay.
So all that I was missing was having the white line in the wrong place.
White line was in the wrong place. Robert Coyne. Great way to Robert. Thanks, Robert. Maybe we might just in the middle of this, maybe take a...
Anish chaktanari dail nogal punshinu sresh na fel brija or doi me mechol. Ocher me mechan ni stopi me via kashasi me hiselar kondu wio. Eglor hana wireshaves me an yediha samalati fista hesos me a gol. Gakul rahat ganyan kush visan Awagas gavila gabel no more O fogam le hook te ganerian no prisha Marerius and we no more scapas on hyo Nor swinium merchara nor galing tifista Ershgaha havila nor floni wio Kiledon an bala wasam gahnian Tas mera sukrivan es masar gasor So men shema hasu egart flor moini Jimo hanish jim es vein rish jog
Attention to this young fella here in the corner. But his first club, I think, wasn't Ballintubber. Is it true that I think he played for Mayo Abbey first, and he played with the great Stonewall Dixon? In fact, I think he won a county title way back, a junior title, if I'm right, in 1946. Is that correct?
Correct.
Put your hands together, Mickey Conroy. You have to get the picture next year, is that right, Owen? You might, I think, my memory serves me correctly, Mickey. I remember you telling me one time about an incident with a pole and a cock of hay. You might tell the people that are here that, because I have forgotten it already. You were playing a match in Ballyglass, and
Oh, yeah, the pole and the cock.
he has it now. He has it.
Oh, gee. I went to the trouble of putting up the goal post, you know,
Yeah.
in Ballyglass.
Keep it right
With
up
the
to your mouth.
score.
Yeah, put it up right close. I'll hold it for you. Yeah.
And it was after the match. This man came up to me, would you ever give me one of them poles for a cock of hay? And that was Micah Pegg's father. And sure, I didn't give a button. I said, I'll take them. Where's I don't want them anyway. But that's about the cock of hay.
And what happened to the following day, the following Sunday when they came?
Where was the bones gone?
Tell us about playing for Mayo Abbey in the 46.
Oh, they were good days.
Who did you play with?
They were good days. They were a great team. Well, I'll tell you something now, fellas.
Yeah.
Oh, Mayo, which is it?
Who you played with?
Who did you play with? Yeah.
Mayo Abbey.
I know. What players were there?
Henry Dixon.
Henry
Keep
Dixon,
it up,
Jack Dixon, Paddy Ford, Pop Mac. Well, Pop was there before Paddy Pendergast. You remember Paddy?
Yeah.
Pop died in America, you know. He went over with the Mayo team.
Yeah.
And
Anyone else?
oh,
TF first.
TF first.
Yeah.
yeah.
You need the picture.
You played on that famous team in 1954 midfield, as far as I know, with Paddy Moore. What are your memories of playing for Ballintubber in that 54 final? Can you remember anything about it?
Oh, I enjoyed it well. But there was more attraction than football in Ballintubber that time. There was a lot of ladies back there. And at the dancing club that night after the match. Oh, we enjoyed it. We hadn't much money. Oh no, there was no money in them days. I don't know today, I would buy a pair of football shoes, I couldn't afford them.
What about training?
Yeah,
What about training? How did you train?
Train at home. Hard work at home. Kicking tissues around the field, jumping walls and such things as that. Going to fairs, maybe after a night out in the dance or something. And a game of football, stick off to a fair the next morning. Oh Lord save us, there was no money. Tommy, it was hard going.
Thanks, Mickey. Okay. Thanks, Mickey. Now, for those of you that don't know, well, I'm led to believe that Mickey will be 90 years of age in a few weeks' time. Give him a big round of applause. He won the Hall of Fame award at the Ballintubber Dinner Dance last year as well. We're back down to the safer corner here where the big burly man here in the corner that used to play number 14 for Ballintubber. I think he scored 2 goals in the county semi-final against Mulranny, was it? Now, Seamus Langan is down here. Now, Seamus, usually you'll hear him shouting a mile away. I have to put the mic. Seamus, you played full forward for Ballintubber. What was your first year that you played, or what's your earliest memories, Seamus?
I played about 40 years, 40 years. I went back at the age of 16.
You're 16 years of age?
You couldn't get a team, enough people to make a team.
The Langans have a long association, Seamus, with Ballintubber, your whole family, and I think you actually transported players. What's your earliest memories of the transportation system?
We had fun. We always had a full load. Even Norton took one time. Full load on it.
Have you any memories of that 54 final?
Yeah, the wettest day we ever came. And we were in Hollymount. And they took it out of the pitch because it was flooded. And we were up the road, 2 feet on the right. And it never stopped raining. It wasn't very easy.
Yeah, I think the final score that day was something like 1-9 to Paddy. Was it 1-9 to 2 points or something? I think it was. And of course, we all know about that objection. Did you play full forward? I think you played full forward in that team, did you? Can you remember the players that played beside you?
Liam Toll and Martin Paddy.
And Paddy, yeah. And we had, of course, apologies from JK Byrne. JK was the free taker. He's down, he's on antibiotics. He said he'd love to be here. And he sends you all the very best of luck. Liam Horn, you're there beside him? No, you won't get away with Liam, sorry. Liam Horn, Tommy, what did you say about Liam? Was he man of the match in what year? In the county senior final, was it? For West Mayo. For West Mayo?
It was McKinnon.
It was who? What? Who was man of the match? You were man of the match in 1960?
No, that's wrong. It was McKinnon was man of the match that year. Tommy got it wrong.
I don't think so. He was modest Liam. I think Liam played first for Ballintubber in 1958.
That might be, I don't know.
Yeah. What year did you immigrate to?
I only played for a couple of years.
You immigrated to New Zealand. What was your first impression when you went to New Zealand?
Well, it reminds you of the Wild West, you know. The first town I hit, there was, verandas and hitching posts and gravel streets, and you swear to God you were in the wild. You know the pictures we used to see up around Cassidy? Well, that's what it reminded me of. That was the first impressions.
And did you stop at the first town you saw?
Well, I was met at the station and we pulled in at the first town.
Yeah.
But that was my first impressions of it.
You were there. Did you play much football out there?
No.
Kicking with the dog, I think.
You had to kick the football by yourself. No one to kick it to.
Liam Horn is also one of the winners of the. He also was at was it midfield on that West Mayo team, 1960. I think you were midfield on that one. You were midfield on that team in 1960.
Oh yeah.
Midfield, so county senior holder, Liam Horn, folks, right? All right. Mickey Donnelly sitting down here in the back. Mickey played in goal in 1957, I think, Mickey, if I'm right. Mickey has also other interests. He's an equine man. He makes his money on the horses as well. He's going to give you a tip for he's making money on Punchestown. Your earliest memories, who did you play with, Mickey, in 57?
Well, all them guys, Tamalelli and Warden, and even though they were younger than me. I only played for the 57, 58, 59. I went to England March 60, so I missed out on that.
And it is the precious time, and it is the only way. Forget-me-nots among the snow, it's always better, so it goes, to ponder his death and his life eternally. For all of you who must discover, for all who seek to understand, for having left the path of others, you'll find a very special land. And it is a holy day, it is a precious time, and it is the only way. Forget-me-nots among the snow, it's always better, so it goes, to ponder his death and his life eternally. One bright blue rose outlives all those, 2,000 years and still it goes, to ponder his death and his life eternally.
Well done, Jackie. Jackie didn't start playing until 1950, something like that, wasn't it? Sean Holden, you're next on the line. You're one of the young kids on the block here. Sean, whose family sponsors the annual Holden Cup. Your first year, Sean, maybe 60. Tell me. What year? When did you start playing for Ballintubber?
61 or 62, I'm not so sure which. Right.
62, he says, and he played. I remember Sean playing in 1969, a county final in Clamars. Fair enough, so I gave a beard, I think. What's your memories of that?
We lost it anyway, didn't we? That's enough, isn't it? I think I ended up playing centre field that day for a week. But, to the usual.
What does your